Alright, so it's 7:30 a.m., 7:45 a.m. I left my hostel and I was walking outside of the city. It's about 30-45 minute walk to get to the main street that takes me south. I have to take, I think, 5 different highways today to get to where I want to go in El Salvador, and it's about a 5-hour ride, and that does not include the waiting time at the border. I also have to wait for rides because I have to be on so many highways. It's going to be a long day. That's why I started early. The sun goes down at 6, which means I only have 10 hours to make it, which is not much. So while I was walking outside the city, I've been walking for like 20-25 minutes. A guy and his grandson, they picked me up and they're going to take me to the next big town, which I put on my sign right here. So from there I have to hitch to the on a different highway. They're not really highways, by the way. They're just like streets like this where you can go, I don't know, maybe 30-40 kilometers an hour if you're lucky, because there are a lot of speed bumps too. So so far so good, and I'm gonna try to take more videos while I'm hitchhiking, but I don't always feel good enough about taking out my camera and showing people that have anything of value. So I might not take a video of every single ride, and I might not be able to video at the border. Okay, so like I said, this morning, very good start. Let's hope that the day continues like this. So I got a ride for about an hour to Escuintla, and the guy, he dropped me off where I have to be inside the city, because this is a road that goes to Texisco. Texisco is only halfway between here and the border, and I'm trying to not take the closest border station. I'm trying to go closer to the border and then go back up north inside of Guatemala and to take another border crossing, because from there it should be easier for me to go to Santa Ana. I chose to go this route because I could have gone from Antigua through Guatemala City, but I didn't want to get stuck in the city, wasting too much time there, going from the western part to the eastern part. So that's why I'm going down this road. You can do 2 different routes. That's the route that I chose. I'm still in the city, and you see there's a gas station right here. Usually that would be great for hitchhiking, but except for a couple of motorcycles, no one has stopped yet. I've been there only for 2 minutes though. So I'm gonna walk down this street, and it's probably another 30 or 40 blocks until I'm out of the city. I hope I don't have to walk 30-40 blocks, but yeah, I hope that I will get a ride to Texisco fairly easily. Let's see what happens. So I've been walking outside of Escuintla. I've been walking for about 30-40 minutes, and there's not as much traffic as you might think, and most cars are actually I mean, there are more motorcycles than cars. So I still have this sign that goes to the next big town. It's like an hour and a half. Where I need to go though, as you can see, is El Salvador to the border, and Guatemala City would be the wrong direction, and the fork over there, that's where I need to be. That's why I've been walking down this street. So I'm still inside the city pretty much, and hitchhiking inside the city is always difficult. I usually don't do it. So I was just walking down, holding up my sign. But yeah, most people here, they just go a couple of blocks, and the thing is, the only car that stopped was a guy. He's here from the city. He saw me walking down the street like 20 minutes earlier, and he just dropped off his wife at the hospital, and he came back and he said, hey, where do you need to go? Do you need some money? And I told him I need to go to Texisco or El Salvador, and he said he would give me money to buy a bus ticket, and he would drive me back to the city, to the bus station, which I didn't accept that, because I do have money, I just don't spend it. And yeah, that happened before, one time only, in northern Mexico, where a guy wanted to pay a bus ticket for me, and I didn't do it. I feel weird about accepting money and stuff from people who might have less than me when I'm not really in need, you know? So that's why I didn't take it. Maybe I will regret it later today. Maybe I will find myself in a bad situation, hopefully not. But yeah, so that's the only car that actually stopped, and the guy was in his late 20s, early 30s, into heavy metal, as you could see clearly, and he was really concerned, you know. But I feel weird enough just hitchhiking in a country where the locals have to hitchhike as well, and the locals pay for the rides, and I try to get a free ride, you know. So that feels weird enough to me already. Okay, I gotta keep on moving. So I make it to Santa Ana, El Salvador before the sun goes down, and I hopefully see you way further down the road. Okay, so I just started filming in outside of Escuintla, and I was showing you the fork behind me. I was walking down the fork towards the fork, and after walking for just 100 meters, a car stops. And in Guatemala, I want to say most of the cars in Guatemala, all the windows are tinted, so the front window is tinted too. You cannot look inside the car in Guatemala, so you don't know who's driving or how many people are in the car, you know, until it stops. So yeah, the car stops, the window goes down, and the first thing I see is a big shotgun, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, like what's gonna happen? Am I being robbed right now, or are they just gonna shoot me for fun? Yeah, so as the window goes down, I keep looking at the guy with a gun, and he looks at me weird, although he must have seen me from a distance. And the window goes further down, and his shirt said security, so I felt better. And the driver was just a normal guy, and he gave me a ride to Chimolelucla, which is way further down than my sign said I wanted to go, but into the right direction. So I'm more than halfway towards the border of El Salvador already. And the driver was a super cool guy. He was into heavy metal, like the guy before who stopped me. So yeah, it's kind of funny. He kept talking about heavy metal bands and concerts and stuff. And he is a technician for ATMs, so he's going all over the area, and that's why he had a guy with a shotgun sitting next to him. That was his security guard while he works on the ATMs in all the different cities. So the street up there is where the city is. I came from down there, and I have to go into this direction. This street is one way to get into the city, and there's another way to get into, which is way further down. So I'm not sure. I think I will just I will draw a sign that says border in Spanish, and then maybe we'll keep walking down there instead of standing around here. But it's also getting really hot again. Antigua is in the Central Highlands, and I just left the Central Highland area, so I'm in the lowlands, and it's getting hot again, which I love. And the traffic here is okay. I keep looking at the cars because I feel while I'm talking there might be a car coming by that would pick me up, but I want to give you guys the best idea that I can give you about hitchhiking. I didn't film inside the car because the guy had a gun, and I don't know if the mechanic was allowed to pick up hitchhikers, you know, from work, so I didn't film. All right, I gotta draw my sign, and hopefully I'm gonna be hitching a ride very soon. So I waited less than 10 minutes, and an SUV came by, actually this one right here, and there's an older woman, 2 women, and 2 kids, and they took me all the way to the border, which is down here. It's still quite a walk, but I'm just gonna walk, and I think it's less than half an hour, like by foot, just a couple of kilometers. I have to change my plans because I was gonna go take the number 3 route north, so I can take a different border. But the road, the number 3, was so bad looking, like so extremely bad looking, that I didn't want to take it because it doesn't look like a high traffic area, and the road was really bad, really small, didn't look like a major road at all. So now I have to go to El Salvador and take several roads, windy road through the mountains around a volcano to make it to Santa Ana. So I still have a very long way to go, and I'm only worried about time, because these roads that go through the mountains, it always takes forever. And there's also, although there might be the only roads there, there's not as much traffic as you might think. I see Holy Week, so there's less private people traveling, because less people are working. Like this family, they're going to the beach. Anyway, so I'm gonna walk to the border now, and I see you on the other side in El Salvador.